hard to quantify how much I've gained and learned through these 2 years at Tepper, but today I'd like to focus on two particular things. One is how I built my confidence, and two is how my understanding of leadership changed through my experience with the Accelerate Leadership Center as well as my peers at Tepper. To me, confidence is a key building block of leadership. And from all of the interviews that I've seen of successful executives, confidence and presence is something that I've always admired. Before I came to Tepper, I did have confidence. It was just constrained to the areas of engineering and the technical aspects of that. Since I'm a big nerd at heart, I'll use an analogy to describe my progression. I was Peter Parker before he became Spider-Man. Besides the fact that we shared the same initials, I also connected with how Peter was this awkward nerd who was not very confident outside of his time in the lab, just as I was as an R&D engineer in my own lab. Just as Peter got bit by a radioactive spider and had to put on his spider suit, I got bit by the consulting bug. Early on in Mini 1, I had to put on consulting casual. And I was very nervous about going into an area that I had no experience in. I was recruiting for consulting, which involves a lot of networking and putting yourself in front of a lot of people and talking. So in order to tackle this, I used a lot of the resources that Tepper provides, such as the Accelerate Leadership coaches, as well as the communication coaches. And these things helped me build up my confidence and build up these skills that I needed to succeed in this new environment. And what I learned through these first few months at Tepper was that when I'm trying to do something new, I don't necessarily need to feel comfortable doing it. This helped me also make the decision of really putting myself in the position of presenting and taking almost every single communications class that is offered here at the school, and hone my skills in presenting as well as talking to people and really being good at understanding what the audience needs. Beyond that, I was also very lucky to have classmates that gave me great feedback, but it wasn't all uphill from there. One of the most vivid memories I have from the end of Mini 2 of the first year is when the interview list came out and I saw my opportunities dwindle. I had received all of this great feedback from classmates and professors, and when I saw that some of the interviews that I had applied for didn't come in, I was starting to lose all of my confidence and focusing again on those things that were outside of my control. Luckily, I was surrounded by the most amazing group of people here at Tepper, as well as my family and friends, that helped me pull myself out of this glut and refocus towards the things that were actually under my control. So as I put on my spider suit over winter break to prepare for the interviews I did have, I felt my confidence building again, and I was able to successfully complete these interviews and secure a really fulfilling position for my post-MBA career. Now, this idea of focusing on things that are under your control also helped me redefine my understanding of leadership. Before my experience with the Accelerate Leadership Center and here at Tepper, I used to think that authority was a huge part of being a leader. Authority is often not in your control, however, influence is. And this was made evident through my involvement with the consulting club here at Tepper, where I was surrounded by the most highly motivated and intelligent people, where in order to be a leader among these leaders, I needed to express my own ideas and convince them to align themselves with these ideas. Coming back to the Spider-Man analogy, everybody knows the quote, "With great power comes great responsibility." I think responsibility is something that one gains with either power or a title. Now, responsibility to help others is a distinguishing quality of a great leader compared to just a good leader. By the end of my experience at Tepper, my understanding of leadership shifted from one of authority and power to one of influence and responsibility. I've come a long way since base camp 2 years ago, and there's still a lot more to do. But as I step forward into the next chapter of my life, I step forward with confidence, as well as a renewed understanding of what I need to do to become a leader that I can admire. Since I've been using Spider-Man as an analogy throughout this, I'll end by saying that within these 2 years, I also found my Mary Jane, and I'm swinging over to New York City to be the friendly neighborhood consultant in Manhattan starting July of this year.